we're doing more examples of naming alkanes with more than one type of substituent. So let's say that I'm going to draw a structure here, my line structure. And I am adding this. So now, first step, as we did before, is choosing the parent chain. And this looks like it's the longest, right? If we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, I have 8 over there. And if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's shorter, so it is 8. So, and starting from this side, my parent name, because I've had 8 prefixes oct, so I'm going to say oct. And then the suffix for alkanes is A-N-E. So that's the parent name. Now we're going to identify substituents, so things that are attached to the parent chain. And let's just highlight the parent chain is all of that. And so my substituents, so things that are attached to that. This is one. This is one, that's another. So the other step says that I need to identify and name the substituents. Substituents with 1 carbon, we know that the prefix is meth, but I have, so methyl, because termination for substituents is YL. But now I have 2 methyl groups, so I am going to say dimethyl in the name. But I have another substituent here that's different. It has 2 carbons. Prefix for that is EF, and then suffix is YL. So ethyl. So I have 2 methyls, that's why I say dimethyl, and 1 ethyl. Next, I need to number the chain, and I need to do so that I give the smallest number possible to the substituents. So let's see, if I start from this from the right to the left, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so numbering that way, 1, 2, and keep going that way, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Choosing those numbers, my substituents are going to be in 3, and then I need to say 4 and 4. So 2 more substituents. If I do the numbering the opposite way, so from left to right, then the substituent would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 and 6. So the correct number is this, because it will assign a smaller number to the location of the substituent. So that's the right number. Next step, I need to list those substituents. But now I have 2 different substituents, and I need to list alphabetically. So without taking into account this prefix, we're going to be looking at the eth and the meth. So ethyl should be listed first, and then meth. So we're not going to take into account that prefix di when we list. So the other part of the name then would be, we need to say ethyl first. So we're going to say for ethyl, and then we're going to put a dash. The methyls are in 3 and then 4. So 3, 4, dimethyl octane. And that's the whole name. Again, we started doing parent chain. We identified the substituents. We know we have 2 methyls and 1 ethyl. That's the system of numbers that give me the smallest for that location. And I need to list ethyl before methyl, and I'm not taking into account this prefix di. So now I'm going to do another molecule, and so we're going to erase this, but we're going to leave the rules, because we're going to be following those rules always. And so remembering those rules will be important, and then next we need to learn what are the prefixes. So for the number of carbons, so meth, eth, prop, bute, pent, and so on. So we need to learn those prefixes. And we know that termination is A and E for alkanes in YL when it is a substituent. So let's do one more example. So here I go. Let's see. My new example is the following. That. Okay. Well, here, we're going to analyze first what is the parent chain. It might be confusing here. So let's say that I choose, I'm going to do the drawing twice to make two different selections here for the parent chain. Right, so let's say that I pick the one that's here. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I have another that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's choose, I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that will be following this path. So I am highlighting the parent chain. That's one choice, but I could also do, say I select this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the two chains, notice, has 7 carbons. So how do I decide which is the correct one for a parent chain? So now I'm going to be looking at the number of substituents to the main chain. So here, if the parent chain is the one highlighted in this example, this is one substituent, that's another. So I have 3 substituents. If I consider the parent chain the one that's highlighted here, then I will have 1, 2, 3, and 4 substituents. So we're going to choose a chain that has more substituents. So that's the chain I'm going to be using for naming, not this one. Okay, so that's my choice. Once I have determined that this chain having the same number of carbon, this one has more substituents. So I'm going to erase the other because I need to be using this now for the naming. And so because we know it's 7 carbons, I'm going to start writing here has my prefixes hept and then A and E. So it's heptane. Next step was identifying substituents. I have 1, 2, 3 methyl groups. And because we have 3 methyl groups, we're going to say here trimethyl. Although when we're naming, remember what we said, there's 3 and we need to write trimethyl, but we're not, when we're listing, we're not taking into account the prefix tri. And now the name of the other substituent here has 1, 2, 3. So the name here of the substituent is propyl. Now I have my elements, and next step would be numbering. Notice here that in doing this numbering, starting here, 1, 2, 3, substituents will be in 3, right here, 4, 5, and 6. So I have that 3, 4, so this, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. And if I did another numbering, so if this is 1, substituents will be starting from the other side. My substituents are going to be, if this is 1, is 2. So that right there is a smaller number. So the system, starting from the other side, is better. So that beats the other one just because it starts with a smaller number. So I'm going to erase those and write my new numbers. My new numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with a new set of numbers, I have substituents in 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the numbering that I need to choose because it assigned a smaller number to where the substituents are. Now I need to list alphabetically, and I will take into account the tri here just compare the M here and the P. So the M goes first. So ensembling the name, again, I'm going to rewrite heptane because here I have more room. My substituents are going to be, again, meth goes first. And the metals are in 2, in 3, and 5. 2, 3, and 5. So we're going to say 2, 3, 5. Trimetal, and I'm going to put a dash. And then I have in carbon 4, I have a propyl, 4 propyl heptane. And that's the name of the compound. Recap, what did we do? We selected first the parent chain. There were 2 choices, and I chose here the longest that had more substituents because we had 2 different choices. Then we identify and name the substituents, and here they are. I number the chain, assigning the smallest number. So this is this step. And name my list alphabetically. And remember, when you have the set of numbers, you select the one that gives the smallest number to the location of the substituents. So here, 2 beats 3. So that's the right number. Lastly, I listed alphabetically without taking into account this prefix try. So I just saw the M is before the P, and this is how we list it.